Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about, Abrego Garcia. Apparently he's getting deported to Uganda, but you guys are going to have to watch the rest of this live stream firsthand to, hear what's happening, what's happening, everybody in chat. Welcome in. But no, we're going to play lots of videos. We're going to play some Fox, maybe some of your favorite news networks, some CNN. It's always funny to hear some tears about illegal immigrants getting deported because they are illegal. They're criminal by definition, but I don't know what else to say. There's lots of news going on though today, so there's lots of videos to play. There's lots of stuff to talk about. So I hope everyone enjoys this, but we're going to wait for a bit more people to come in here. And then we can get right into some of the videos and some of the reviews and watching some of the content. I had a good live stream yesterday, a couple good live streams yesterday, and we're expecting maybe 2 guests today as well. So I love liberal tears for breakfast. Well, that's an interesting comment. I think I agree. What's too bad, Brady, sorry. Hope everyone's having a great day. It is hot as Hades outside, so I probably will go off my balcony here in a second, but I just wanted to show you the beautiful view as well. But yeah, that is that. Sunny day, sunny day. Fam guy. If you check out my recent travel vlogs, fam guy, you'll know exactly where. All you gotta do is watch them and you'll find out, brother. But yeah, how's everyone's morning doing? Drop me some comments. Guys. Hit that like button, double tap the screen, subscribe. I will say it's a bit toasty outside. Just a bit. The weather's actually perfect, I would say. Maybe like 80 degrees, maybe 82 degrees. But in the evening, it's absolutely fantastic. It's like 70s. And then sometimes it even drops to the low 60s. It's like California weather. It's perfect. Other than it does rain a bit. But anyway, let's go back inside, guys. We gave you guys 3 minutes of the view. Mostly what I want to talk about is the whole Abrego Garcia getting deported. The Democrats were celebrating. Oh, he's back. He's going to stay in the U.S. with his family. Nice. How is the suspension? Oh, my God. I'm just going to let you keep your comment this time because that doesn't really bother me, but let's play some videos of, Fox News and CNN and stuff like that. Total scam. DeSantis exposes American companies. How does DeSantis expose American companies? I want to hear this.
Every policy of the Trump administration is designed to lift up the American worker, promote great paying blue-collar jobs, and to rebuild the industrial bedrock of our nation.
Well, he's right about that. I mean, the only question, after all the great accomplishments of the Trump administration and the early successes hitting his stride, how do the H-1B visas fit into this?
Cracker Barrel is crazy, my guy. Trump said they have a billion dollar opportunity.
Is a scam. There is no reason why we should be bringing in foreign workers when American workers are up to the task. If you believe in the free market, you got to raise wages so American workers will actually do these jobs. Last year, nearly 400,000 applications for H-1B visa work were approved from India, China, and other countries. That's more than double the amount approved in the year 2000. So does the American workforce really just decline that much? That's 400,000 jobs that did not go to American workers. And the companies that love foreign workers, companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta. Here to weigh in is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor, Your reaction to this? I mean, I know in the Trump cabinet there's a real divide on this issue, but it's an issue I've fought for many, many years. What do Americans
Ron,
need to
you're looking good, Ron.
Well, I think you're right to say the H-1B, it's become a total scam. These companies game the system. You have some of these companies that are laying off large numbers of Americans while they're also getting new H-1Bs and renewing H-1Bs. And a lot of times people used to say, well, we're getting the cream of the crop from all around the world. The reality is that's not actually what H-1Bs are. Most of them are from one company or from one country, India. There's a cottage industry about how all that people make money off this system. Yeah. And look at what's happening to young people in this current job market because of artificial intelligence. You are starting to see evidence that they're having a much tougher time because of what's happening with AI. So if that's going to continue to produce dislocations, why would we be importing foreign workers when we have our own people that we need to take care of?
Well, they want cheap labor, that's why. They want workers that will come into the United States and that have no, portability of their job prospects. They have to stay as workers.
They're scamming. They want to replace you with AI and Indians.
Variety, large now essentially multinational corporation. That's why. I mean, they want to keep wages lower.
No,
period.
Precisely.
Full stop.
100%. 100%. They save money, and as you said, these H-1Bs limit the H-1B worker to that one company. It's almost like a form of indenture servitude, and so we've seen them take advantage of that time and time again. And I just think like the overall message from the time President Trump first ran for office was we're going to put the American people first. And I think that he's done that in so many ways, like the border and other things, and I think it should apply to these visa programs as well.
I want to go to this other issue, which set the MAGA base on fire last night. The
MAGA!
1,000 visas for Chinese students that President Trump said he would be open to allowing into the country. Today, he said our college system would go to hell very quickly without them. This would be the most amount of Chinese students ever admitted to the United States, almost doubling the 380,000 Chinese students that are in the country today. My question to you is, should we be concerned if 15% of colleges end up going under because they can't have, students from...
Going under? These colleges make all their damn money off these students. What the hell is she talking about, going under? And plus, Chinese and Asian people have the lowest crime rates. Lower than, white people, lower than the African American community, lower than the Hispanic community, and not to mention they have a higher average, income and intelligence. It's just facts.
The Chinese communist system and paying full freight?
If you're bringing in somebody to study as a foreign student, the only reason that should be done is if it benefits the American people, not to subsidize colleges. And to put it in perspective, the state of Florida, we're the third largest state in the United States. The total number of students in our entire state university system, 12 universities, is a little over 300,000. So that would mean you're almost doubling the entire population of Florida's state university system with just Chinese students. And as we know,
I agree, that could be a problem.
There's a significant percentage of the Chinese students they're engaged with the CCP. It used to be...
That is also a problem.
Say, oh, you bring the people from China, they're going to love America, they'll go back and they'll be ambassadors, and China will change. But obviously, that has not happened because this has been going on for decades. So,
but there's also Americans that are literally a part of the CCP that aren't even Chinese.
Is way out of bounds of, I think, what most people would want to see. I'd rather those slots go to American students.
I'd rather have none. How's that? I'd rather have none. I think the whole thing is a bailout to colleges, and why would want to bail out colleges? We've got a lot of Republican lobbyists working for top American educational institutions, and a lot of them seem to have a lot of power.
I would prefer the slots to go to American students, but if they're generating the economy, I don't see a problem with it. If they're generating the economy and they're not taking up too many spaces, I don't see a problem with it. Should we show Judge Grady? He did another video, but I want to show the one of Grady with the chain. Is this live? Yes, sir. If you have any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about, you can drop some super chats. Let's watch this, guys. This is pretty funny. This is pretty freaking funny. This is one of the police sheriffs in Florida. Well, as long as they're documented immigrants, they're fine.
Have the empirical evidence that they died from it.
That is a Florida Polk County sheriff.
Elijah Nahad, he's 23. He was the marijuana dealer. He's the connection from Orlando selling the marijuana. We caught him selling 11 pounds to Brian Myrick. And guess what? He came up on our T3 with a lot of details. Then there's Maco Caballero Medina. He's 24. He's from Venezuela. Now, this is part of the frustrating confluence of federal immigration issues and local law enforcement issues. He's in this country illegally. And guess what?
Illegal!
He was trafficking in MDMA. We caught him with a pound of it. We're waiting on the lab to return the results, but we caught him with a pound of what we believe to be ketamine. We had a trafficking warrant out for his arrest. We arrested him as part of the T3. He made bond. We had an immigration hold on him. So when he made bond, the feds came and picked him up because that's what they do when they're finished doing business with us.
Damn, shout out Florida.
And deported him. He still hasn't answered for the trafficking in our jurisdiction, but he's now in Venezuela. So what we've done is we've issued a capias for his arrest. If he ever comes back into the United States, we will, at that point in time, take him into custody, and then we'll be able to no bond him and hold him until he answers for his part of this organized narcotics ring. I want to turn...
Look at his chain! That's the sheriff's chain, guys.
Chief Walker. It's an honor to work with him and the Bartow police officers on investigations. But
I'm not gonna lie, that looks good on him. I think you should just keep it.
All of us that I spoke of to successfully do these complicated investigations, and our organized crime team.
He has drip!
Different narcotics units make all this work because we all come together and coordinate our efforts. And our goal this time is that these folks don't go to prison for 4 years or 5 years because it's only drugs. It's only drip. I mean, when people are walking around with $50,000 worth of jewelry around their neck and they've sold millions of dollars worth of drugs in and around Bartow, they're a menace to society. They've got to stay in prison or people die. Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Nah, we don't want to hear the chief. We don't want to hear the chief. We just want to see the drip. Let's go back to the drip.
Thank you, sir.
Manufacturing crimes.
Whoever tells you that narcotics is low level and nonviolent, they're crazy. God bless you all. Work with us. And the community work with us. You give us confidential information, we'll do everything to include wiretap these guys. We're going to protect and keep the community safe. See y'all later. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
You talked about how these people in the state prison are also out dealing drugs.
Yes.
From maybe Troy Walker, do you think any of these people will stay in prison longer than 5 years, or they get back?
Well, I can tell you that Brian Haas, who's our state attorney, Nicole Orr, are going to push for the maximum sentences for all of these folks because this is not a one-off. This is not their first time. They've all been to prison, and every time they're out, they're selling drugs. Even when we've got heavy-duty charges on them and they bond out, they still go back and sell drugs. They don't even stop for the period of time that the hammer is over their head on very serious charges. They ignore the criminal justice system. They ignore society. They don't care if your children die as long as they can wear their drip and sell drugs and use guns to intimidate the community. And these are not first-timers. They're not second-timers. This is a very experienced group of people who have owned the drug market in Bartow for a very long time. And we have put them all in prison. And when they get out, they're back to their same old stuff.
Can you speak to the wiretap side of this, how long that was going on, and what you heard specifically about Troy Walker and people?
Yeah, the wiretap went on about 2 months. Both federal and state law prohibits...
Chains for Champions, sponsor and officer today. Go buy your local officers big giant gold chains, guys.
Us from quoting directly from the wiretap.
They all need drip like Grady.
But that's where we got...
Hey, thank you, Thomas Conservative.
They were scurrying around and talking about when our victim died, about, well, I sold her drugs.
It's his new drip. That's with the necklace, the chain, whatever you want to call it.
She's dead this morning.
Sheriff, I was curious about the county, and if you don't really hear about that a lot, is that the latest thing?
This group of folks that owned the drug market now in Bartow. Now, that's not to tell you that no one else deals drugs, but they own the drug market. Nate is the man in Bartow. He is he's an Amazon for drugs. Whatever drug you need, he's there. And he'll make deliveries.
Yugoslavia. I'm in ex-Yugoslavia right now. Do you guys want to see more of Grady Judd, or do you guys want to talk about Abrego Garcia or, those National Guard troops that are going to be sent into D.C.? It's all up to you guys. Comment down below. Grady or, Abrego. Shout out Jacksonville, Florida. Grady or Abrego? Comment down below. Abrego or Grady? Abrego. Let's see. We got one Abrego. Any Grady, or is it just Abrego? Abrego. Okay. One guy said Grady. 2 guys said Grady.
Do you understand?
Grady's winning, guys. Grady's winning at the moment. Grady. We got way more comments for Grady right now. All right, let's play one more video of Grady. Then we'll go to Abrego since you guys really wanted it. This one's involving Grady with illegal immigrants. Libtards for Abrego.
Coming into this country. This was the Biden administration. So they gave him a court date, 21. He was stopped by Border Patrol as he was coming into this country. This was the Biden administration. So they gave him a court date and they released him. That's right, catch and release. And isn't it interesting that he came into this country in the area of Chula Vista, California. So in 2021,
where's his drip?
In this country illegally, he's caught and released as opposed to being taken into custody, and proceedings began at that time. Let's fast forward to July of 2024. He's arrested in Galveston, Texas for DUI. Apparently, he doesn't show up for court. Now, I don't know whether or
any illegal immigrants caught for DUI should instantly be deported. I'm sorry, instantly.
Him for being in the country illegally or not. I can tell you in 2024, we always reported people to ICE that we came into contact with. In fact, we did a daily report of everybody.
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Database.
If you guys have any video requests, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to say, you can drop some super chats down below. Deport Abrego Garcia. He's an illegal, wife-beating, alien criminal.
So I'm going to presuppose that happened in Galveston, Texas as well. But not only did they not hold him when he was arrested by the local authorities, he was released apparently on bond or promised.
Hey, shout out Wales.
Did he show up at court? No, he didn't show up at court. So Texas issued a warrant for his arrest. However, it is a no extradition warrant.
Oh my God. We'll do 300 to 400 push-ups for anyone that wants to drop a $20 super chat. We'll do 300 to 400 Grady Judd push-ups. Grady Judd push-ups.
It simply means if they get outside of the jurisdiction, whether that's the state or the county, then if you come in contact with this person,
drop a $20 super chat. 300 to 400 push-ups for Grady Judd.
Arrested for DUI, he fails to show up. There's an outstanding warrant.
Or if you have any questions, comments, any videos you want me to play,
Now I want to bring
drop a
you
super chat.
to Polk County, Florida. This morning, HSI detectives, investigators, special agents have a lead that he is at 1009 Buccaneer Drive in Lakeland. Now, I must tell you that Buccaneer Drive is a pretty rough area. So they send 2 agents by themselves to Buccaneer Drive because they have information that he's there, and now there's a warrant for deportation. So the agents set up, and sure enough, they see him get in a vehicle with 2 other people and leave. They follow him out to Reynolds Road, which is on the east side of Lakeland, and they perform a traffic stop. The truck pulls over. They determine Dennis is in the passenger side of the truck. The female ICE agent or HSI agent is on that side of the truck. So the male ICE agent walks around from the driver's side to the passenger side, where they immediately inform him that they're going to take him into custody. And he tries to run. When he tries to run, then the male agent grabs him and goes to the ground with him. And a scuffle ensues.
Deport.
Lasted about 5 minutes. Now, ladies.
Hell yeah, Tim. Love that, brother. Good luck in your case.
During the fight, finally, the female ICE agent is able to spray with pepper spray, and Dennis turns loose of the ICE agent, who he has successfully gotten on top of and is holding down. Then Dennis Miranda jumps up and he runs into the woods. The HSI agents chase him into the woods until they lose sight of him and ultimately summon the sheriff's office. We sent a legion of people. We sent a helicopter. We send drones. We send K-9. We send supervisors. We send deputies. So we're creating a walled-off area
to capture the illegals.
This guy in the jail who's now not only wanted on his deportation order, but now he's committed a battery on a federal agent. That is a 3rd-degree felony, except he's illegal, which makes it a 2nd-degree felony. It's serious. And now we know that our male agent has an injured shoulder. I don't know the extent of whether it's just dislocated, but he's injured and he has to be transported to the hospital. In the meantime, Dennis Miranda goes up onto a loading dock and hides among some 55-gallon drums.
Send them all to Uganda. It's a beta move, not worrying about your country being invaded by illegal immigrants. Go join the betas in the UK that love their country getting invaded by illegal immigrants. Send them all back. Send all the criminals to Uganda. Adios.
And we send resources there.
If you guys have any video requests, any content you want to watch, play, talk about, if you want to talk about Abrego, spam Abrego in the comments. If you like Grady Judd, spam Grady. And we can decide there. Or if someone drops a super chat, we can play whatever video you like. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah. We continue the pursuit. While we're setting up with our canines to deploy, he runs out toward the edge of the perimeter, and Lieutenant Katsoulis takes him into custody without any further problems. Now,
that is a lie.
We have him under arrest. He's smiling.
Nuclear, that is a lie.
The smile off of his face. And the reason I think we've wiped the smile off of his face, he's charged with battery on a law enforcement officer. That's now an F2 instead of an F3 because he is illegally in the country and the state of Florida. He's charged with resisting with violence, which is now an F2 instead of an F3.
By the way, last time I'm going to stop this, then I'm going to let this play. But if anyone wants to debate, discuss, talk, you can join my Discord if you want to debate. But if you want to debate right now, talk, discuss right this minute, you can drop a $20 super chat. I'll end this and we can do it. Unless you liberals are scared.
He's charged with resistance.
Why Uganda? Uganda has accepted him. That's why.
First-degree misdemeanor. He's charged with false imprisonment, and he's charged with burglary of an occupied structure. Very serious charges. The burglary of the occupied structure is now an F1, felony of the first degree, as opposed to a felony of the second degree. Now, he's not even yet facing his federal
Tammy, you don't have 20.
all of his actions that day. So here's what he looks like after he's under arrest.
That's what he looks like. What the hell? I'm not on my YouTube premium account, I guess, guys. That is true, Dev.
No warnings. And he totally confessed to us. He told us he was here illegally, and he told us all about the fight. And the
Man, he's confessing, huh?
Because he didn't want to be deported. The other two people in the vehicle were also here illegally as well.
I'll read out loud any comment that's a super chat. I don't read every single comment. I get thousands of comments. But if you want me to read your comment out loud and discuss it, you can drop a super chat. I don't care if it's a quote-unquote hate comment or not. I'll read it.
Who were here illegally, and obviously this guy wasn't going to go. The other two cooperated. They stayed in the vehicle. They did not resist. They did not run. They did not fight. This guy has a lot of charges that he's facing now. Once again, had this guy been dealt with correctly, he had been touched at least, I underscore, at least 2 other times when he came into this country illegally, and nothing was done.
Deport!
And now he's injured federal agents trying to do their job and take him into custody. Are there any questions?
Deport.
Well, it's a clear indication that the system, as I've said back for years, is broken. The federal immigration system is broken. Had they appropriately dealt with him instead of catch and release in 2021, none of this would have happened. None of it. But as we all know, people were allowed to violate the law and flow across this border illegally.
Under Joe Biden.
In the results, we have an injured federal agent. We had a great deal of resources that the local taxpayers had to pay for in order to take him into custody with a smile on his face. And now the state of Florida and the taxpayers of Polk County are going to have to pay to hiring a defense attorney, to try him. We're going to send him to state prison for a very long time, which is our hopes upon his conviction, not counting what the federal government may want to do with him before he's deported. So it's cost the taxpayers untold hundreds of thousands of dollars before all of this is over with, and it never should have happened in the first place.
Yup, he should have been deported. He should have been deported the first time. But President Joe Biden said no.
I don't have the timeline, but it was relatively quickly. Whenever they called us and called for assistance, then we immediately responded, and we responded with resources. And the first thing you do is set the perimeter, because you have to set a large perimeter, and then you start marching the perimeter in. What helped speed it along is when the employee of the business noticed this guy was, ostensibly in their business hiding, and notified us, which sped the process up. So I don't know the exact times, but we can get that to you. He was taken into custody rather quickly. To my knowledge, this is the first time we've had an ICE agent injured in the line of duty, and he was significantly injured. He had to go to the hospital, and he's going to make a full recovery. But the reality of it is it shouldn't have happened. And the people need to know this in the community. There is this illusion that all of these folks that are here are just wanting to work and do good. Well, a percentage of them are. But a lot of them are here and they don't want to go back, and they'll do whatever they need to do.
Criminals. Deport them to Uganda. No trial.
Agents. It's HSI. I think it was one of them may have been an ERO ICE agent, but they came from two different investigative teams from HSI. But they'll fight in order to keep from going back. Well, they're going to go.
Well, that's interesting, guys. But, if you want to see more Grady, someone drop a super chat. I think it's time to move on to Abrego. It's about time to move on to Abrego. Let's talk about Abrego now. Abrego will be sent to Uganda. If you love this, hit that like and subscribe button. If anyone wants to stick to Grady or watch another specific video, they can drop a super chat. I'm open for it. I'll react to it. Or we can argue or debate about it. Ooh, look, it's lovely. Abrego got arrested. I would like all the illegal immigrants to self-deport, please. All of them.
Family. It's the last thing Kilmar Abrego Garcia did before he went to a scheduled ICE check-in appointment in Baltimore and was arrested.
They're going to play games with his life and keep him detained for, God knows how long.
He's a criminal!
Fight over whether he can be deported to Uganda or not.
Abrego Garcia became a symbol of the Trump administration's hard stance on immigration earlier this year. He was mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March.
Mistakenly? He's from El Salvador. He's a criminal.
To the U.S. He was returned in June, but detained in the U.S. on human smuggling charges. Days before his ICE appointment, Abrego Garcia was released from jail in Tennessee after he refused to plead guilty to those charges and be deported.
Abrego, why are you crying like a bitch? You should not have entered the country illegally. It's that simple. I am an illegal immigrant.
Promise me this.
I am an illegal immigrant. I'm going to translate for you guys. He's saying, I am an illegal immigrant. Please deport me to Uganda. I speak Spanish, guys. That's what he's saying.
To demand freedom.
It really is very clear that the government is far more interested in...
We got a super chat. Let's see what... Check it in, Graham. No push-ups today. Hey, really appreciate you, Burnell. I really appreciate you. I'm just, watching this Kilmore Abrego Garcia stuff. But if there's anything you want to watch, talk about, we can talk about it. We can watch it. Appreciate you, big guy. Big boss, Burnell.
Throwing around their weight and demonstrating what they think is their power to do whatever they want, whenever they want, to whoever they want. That's clearly far more important to them than any particular outcome in this case.
In a post on X, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem confirmed Abrego Garcia's arrest, adding, President Trump is not going to allow this illegal alien, who is an MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, serial domestic abuser, and child predator to terrorize American citizens any longer.
Sorry!
Abrego Garcia has denied he is a gang member and all allegations of human smuggling. His attorney says he plans to fight his deportation. For Ringside Edition,
I don't know how he's going to fight it when he's an illegal immigrant. Hey, what's up, Milo? I don't know how he's going to fight it when he is literally, an illegal immigrant. There's no fighting, Human smuggling, and you guys are still defending him. He's being charged with human smuggling, but the Democrats are saying, oh, he's my hero. That is disturbing. That is seriously disturbing, my guy. Abrego is getting deported to Uganda. Let's watch CNN's little crybaby fit about it. I don't really like CNN, but I think it's hilarious how they cry about stuff. They turned this fool into a celebrity.
That was Abrego Garcia turning himself into immigration officials at an ICE field office in Baltimore just a few hours ago. He and his wife shared a tear-filled goodbye, and then Abrego Garcia...
Abrego, why would you cry when you committed these crimes? When you commit crimes, don't start crying now. You should have thought that before you did it.
...into ICE custody. Now, the Department of Homeland Security says he's being processed for deportation. He spoke to the crowd of supporters and protesters beforehand through an interpreter.
He doesn't even speak English.
Who have been separated. Or to all the families who have been threatened with family separation.
He doesn't even speak English. That's just another reason to deport him. If he's been here for 15 years and refuses to learn English, maybe he should be deported, obviously. He came here illegally. He came here illegally, guys.
This
illegally.
Administration has hit us hard. But I want to tell you guys something. God is with us, and God will never leave us. God will bring justice.
Yeah, God is with you in your home country.
That we are suffering.
CNN's Priscilla Alvarez is following Abrego Garcia's case. But Priscilla, Garcia's attorney suggested this morning that they did not know he was going to be arrested this morning, and they were told he was just actually going to be interviewed by ICE officials when they went there. So what happened?
Well, the intention was that it was a mandatory check-in where an interview would happen, but his attorney did expect that it was possible that he would be detained. That is something that Trump administration officials have repeatedly said was an option if and when he was released from criminal custody, which happened last Friday in Tennessee. Now, I was there on the ground, and it all happened really within an hour. Abrego Garcia, as you see there, spoke to the crowd, thanked his family and community organizers, as well as religious leaders, and then embracing his wife, went up to the federal building along with his attorney, where he turned himself into Immigration and Customs Enforcement. About 45 minutes later, his attorney was the one who departed the building and said that Abrego Garcia had been taken into custody. Now the big question is, where will he be deported? Well, in addition to announcing to reporters that he had been maintained in custody, his attorney also said that they filed a new lawsuit challenging his detainment and his his deportation. Specifically, where? So the Trump administration had offered a plea deal for Abrego Garcia to plead to federal charges, carry out his criminal sentence in the U.S., and then be deported to Costa Rica. If not, he would be deported to Uganda, a country with which he has no ties, but an approach the administration has been taking often in sending deportees to these far-flung countries. Now, the administration similarly went on to say that if he didn't, again, Uganda would be the option. Now, the attorneys are blocking this potential deportation, and this is how his attorney described the predicament as it is.
ChatGPT gets 123 million visits a day.
I gotta switch to my damn premium account, guys. I gotta switch to my YouTube premium account. But anyway, he should be deported to Uganda. Like, you know, I don't understand the massive debate. He should be deported there. He beat his wife. He trafficked humans. He's a criminal. He entered illegally. But
immigration system in a manner that is completely unconstitutional.
All right, Priscilla Alvarez, thank you so much for that report. My excellent panel's reporters are back here at the table. So why is this, why is the administration so gung-ho on this case? I mean, the way they've handled this has really been something to see, right? Back in March, they admitted in court that he was mistakenly deported. One of their attorneys did.
He speaks English. He's just capping. Maybe that is true.
Of him from El Salvador back to the United States. And
The only reason he's acting like he's crying is for publicity.
Ultimately did. Now they're threatening to send him to Uganda if he does not agree to plead guilty to
send him farther away.
Go to Costa Rica instead. They don't want to do that. But what is your insight and what are you hearing from your own sources about why they have made this a centerpiece of their fight on immigration?
I mean, if you look at Donald Trump's
Costa Rica would have been nice.
Prevailing mantras, and one of them is don't admit mistakes. Don't say you did something wrong. He has almost never done so. And so with this case in particular, it is the centerpiece of a larger policy.
Seems like the whole mess was his own creation. No fucking shit.
Forces within this administration that want to try to deport as many people as possible.
Deport!
For Trump in 2015, 2016, and it has been a through line through his entire political career and both terms of his presidency. And with this case, they do not want to show any sort of, care or caution in terms of that they made a mistake. That is not the belief of this administration, and so they are trying to do everything they can to show that they are going to pursue the most aggressive policy as possible, in part to protect the president's own image, but also as what they believe is a deterrent to other people to try to get them not to come into the country.
And the politics are very clear. It's obviously been a key issue for Trump all along. They believe it's a winning issue, but it's having an impact on communities as well. This is what our reporters at CNN here reported this weekend, quoting the headline, "It's like one day everyone left. How immigration crackdowns are reshaping America." They quoted someone who's a jewelry seller saying, "People are scared of being arrested just for being outside." There is always this tension, this feeling that something could happen.
Yeah, something will happen if you came here illegally, jackasses.
That's the risk, in addition to all what was mentioned, the risk of how it could impact communities, the economy, and the risk that it backfires. You mentioned also, for example, that this was central to Trump's campaign. The attack on Democrats as being focused on they, them was also central. But both his immigration message and his anti-trans message ultimately were packaged as the economy, that the Biden administration is too focused on things that are harmful to the economy. And so the question is, could these things now backfire on him? Because people are saying, actually, these crackdowns could be, the opposite. They're not helping the economy. The promises that Trump made aren't coming to fruition. And by the way, I also see him in his administration taking people off the streets. And that's not what I voted for.
And we've seen some evidence from voters that not all of these tactics wear well. So when the Abrego Garcia case was prominently in the news in the spring, when, as you acknowledged, the administration acknowledged in court that they did this incorrectly, the initial deportation, that was not wearing well. His immigration numbers started going down. Then after the LA crackdown, we saw some hit on his immigration numbers as well. And I think it's interesting, to tie it back to our first segment, that when he talks about DC or taking over the city, yes, he acknowledges getting some
Crybaby News Network.
The Attorney General did today in the Oval Office. That's not the president's focus on this. He's hammering other points. He goes to the beautification. He goes to making sure the city's more livable. It's not just this relentless focus on an immigration crackdown, which is clearly part of what is going on with the DC takeover as well. And I think that's because he's aware, while immigration is his life force in American politics, and it is an issue that resonates for his base, when he potentially oversteps, it doesn't necessarily serve his political interests as well, and I think you see him aware of that.
He's not overstepping. He's deporting illegal immigrants. What is overstepping? I don't understand. What is overstepping, guys? All he did was deport some people. Illegal, enough said. Thank you. Illegal, enough said. Exactly. He's doing what's right. He's enforcing the law. End is coming.
The accused MS-13 gang member, the Democrats...
Accused? He is an MS-13 gang member.
President Trump, you have committed to us, hostage families, when meeting us, that you will bring all of them back home.
The killing of journalists in Gaza should shock the world, and those responsible must be held.
Gaza!
So we have 20, but there's rumors that some could be dead. It's a terrible situation over there. There's nothing conclusive, but hopefully we're going to have things solved very quickly with regard to...
Cut the cap!
Well, the man running point on the U.S. effort to help end the fighting in Gaza and also the situation in Ukraine joins us tonight for an exclusive interview. Steve Witkoff is the president's special envoy for peace missions. Thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure, Brett. Thank you.
Let's start with Israel-Gaza. Who is holding up the end of the war more, Israel or Hamas? Hamas, 100%.
Yes, there's been a deal on the table for the last 6 or 7 weeks that would have released 10 of the hostages out of the 20 who we think are alive. And it was Hamas who slow played that process, and it is Hamas now who's saying we accept that deal. And I think in large part they're saying that and changing their mind because the Israelis are...
If you guys have any comments, questions, any requests for videos you want us to play, talk about, if you want me to discuss something, just drop a super chat. But we need to deport all of these illegals, no exceptions. And if you're harming ICE agents should be trained to shoot out their window if anyone tries to throw a rock or harm them.
Do you think Hamas should be completely destroyed, as Prime Minister Netanyahu says?
You know, that's not my call. I think that there needs to be a deal. There needs to be hostages sent home. There would be a commensurate amount of Palestinian prisoners who would be sent home too. Every time we see a hostage release, we see jubilation on both sides. And Hamas understands that they can have nothing to do with the government going forward. Those are terms of the Israelis and they're terms of President Trump as well.
So I guess the question is, should Israel be doing anything differently to end the war and get the hostages home? Well, why do you see optimism in bringing this to an end?
Well, we think that we're going to settle this one way or another, certainly before the end of this year. Hamas is now signaling that they're open to a settlement. The Israelis, when they announced this operation, also announced at the same time that they were funding $600 million of aid to go into Gaza. And in addition to that, they also announced that they were open to continuing discussions with Hamas. So it's not a maximalist approach on the Israelis' part. They're indicating that
Israel is literally feeding hungry kids.
Hamas decides to make them. And we've suggested, by the way, that Hamas can begin by feeding the hostages, by giving them medical attention.
Hamas is stealing the food that Israel and America is sending them.
The president is a humanitarian.
For the children
That's what he wants to see.
in Palestine.
Some of those released hostages on this very set. Israeli officials say they'll no longer accept a partial deal for the return of hostages. Is that where you are now?
That's the official position, and that's President Trump's official position. I think that he has said to himself, that you don't need.
Hamas is stealing food that was meant for the kids in Gaza
As to what next day
from Israel and the U.S. sending them food.
And what the definition of Hamas is. We can talk about those things, but we adamantly want, and I'm following the president's direction here when I say this, all of those.
Hamas is stealing food that was meant to go to the children of Gaza.
This hospital was struck, targeted. There were Hamas leaders there. What is the reaction to that? And are there red lines with the Trump administration and how Israel is moving forward with this?
Well, anytime you have civilian deaths, it's a tragedy. The president, he feels it. And, the president has met almost every single hostage family. I mean, he is as compassionate a man as I know. So anytime you have civilian hostages, that's problematic. But it's a war. And part of what we're trying to do is shut that war down. It doesn't need to continue to happen anymore. And I think that Hamas has held that region hostage for much too long, and it's time for it to end. And I think many of the Arab governments, by the way, are in that camp as well.
Last thing, it's obviously a very dangerous situation on the ground, but there is a want for journalists to get in there and to tell the story on the ground.
Yeah.
We've had Bill Hemmer get in on the outskirts there and inside. Is there a thought about that?
Well, I've been in there twice with, a surrounding
Free
vest.
Palestine from Hamas. Hamas is the reason Palestine got destroyed.
Saw it, not me, but for the president. He is very well acknowledged there, not just in Gaza, but in Israel. It is a very dangerous place.
Hamas is responsible for the destruction of Palestine.
It is a demolition zone, and it's a tough place, and I'm sure Bill Hemmer told you that. Worse than most people would imagine.
It's going to take some time. Is there a plan for a day after in Gaza?
Yes, we've got a large meeting in the White House tomorrow, chaired by the president, and it's a very comprehensive plan we're putting together on the next day that I think many people are going to be. They're going to see how robust it is and how well-meaning it is, and it reflects.
You get rid of Hamas. That's how you free Palestine. Hamas is responsible for the destruction of Palestine.
Think of it. You have your son leaving Russia, leaving Ukraine, their little house, wherever they live with their parents, and waving goodbye. And then a week later, his head's blown off in a stupid war by a drone. So, no, I'd like it to stop. I want to get it to stop. And it will not be a world war, but it will be an economic war. And an economic war is going to be bad. And it's going to be bad for Russia, and I don't want that.
Same question, different war. Who's more responsible for keeping this war going, Russia or Ukraine?
This is a different situation here. We've got these are two tough sides here. And you heard the president say that he's disappointed in Russia in some respects, and he's also disappointed in the Ukrainians in some respects. But I would point this out to you. No one has done more, and I'm talking about in the last 8 months, than this president in narrowing the issues between these two countries and bringing the sides close to a deal. The Russians have put a peace proposal on the table. It involves Donetsk. It may not be something that the Ukrainians can take, but no one's ever made that kind of progress here, and it's because of his force of personality and his motivation to end the conflict, end the death, that we're at this place where we think the end is in sight.
The next step was going to be a bilateral meeting. The Russians are signaling that doesn't seem to be happening. Is it going to go to a trilateral meeting, or how do you see the blueprint?
Well, first of all, I'm meeting with the Ukrainians this week, so I will be meeting with them this week in New York, and that's a big signal. We talk to the Russians every day. I think that we may end up seeing a bilateral meeting. My own opinion is that the president is going to be needed at the table to finish a deal. President Putin at the Alaska summit, Brett, actually acknowledged that this war would never have happened if the president had been in office.
That is right. It's all because of fucking Joe Biden.
Did he tell you that he wanted to bring an end to the war?
Absolutely. There's a peace proposal on the table. He has certainly said that, and hopefully he stands by that.
I mean, you know that the critics out there say that this is Putin playing you all. How do you respond to that?
I think he has made a good faith effort to engage. He certainly did at the Alaska summit, but it's a very complicated conflict. But the president is determined to get this conflict done. Look, the president has done God's work on 7 separate conflicts here, and why? Because at heart he's a humanitarian. At heart he wants to see the killing end, and I can tell you this. I just hope that when it comes time to assess from a Nobel Peace Prize standpoint, the type of work that President Trump has done, that it's widely acknowledged exactly what has happened out there on the world stage.
We've talked about India, Pakistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia. We've talked about Congo, Rwanda. We've talked about all of those.
The Houthis, I mean, all of it.
This one really is a sticking point. Should Ukraine be forced to give up land that Russian forces have not yet conquered?
Well, the president has said that the only one who can make that decision are the Ukrainians. That's President Zelensky's call, and I think that they have indicated that it's a more complicated decision than just giving up land. They have to understand what the security guarantees are, and they're entitled to understand those things. They have to make sure that this can never happen again. That is them being a fiduciary for their people. So we have to address all of those things, but we understand that. We have technical teams working on it, and we're hopeful that by the end of this year, we actually, and maybe quite a bit sooner, we actually can find the ingredients to get to that peace deal.
Sergei Lavrov saying that the Ukrainian president is illegitimate. The president saying today that's all posturing and BS. You agreed with him as we played that soundbite. But what about the Trump administration? It did put maximum pressure on Iran, a maximum pressure campaign. Why not do the same with Russia? If you sense that they are stepping back from the table, why not drop the hammer and get them back to the table?
Well, that's an assessment that the president has to make, and he's got plenty of leverage, of levers to use if he makes that call.
Because you sense that the Russian economy is faltering.
I don't know if I would say that. I would simply say that I think the president is disappointed. He really is. He's said it to me numerous times, and he's said it publicly. He's disappointed because he doesn't believe that it's not his war, and he doesn't believe it's a war that needs to continue. And he wants the death to stop as well. So I think that he looks at this as, I have to do everything I can. I am the man of the moment who can end this thing. I have to figure out how to do everything I can to bring the two sides together, and if I can't, to force them together.
Well, I know that there are a lot of people in this town, Democrats and Republicans, who...
I 100% agree with that.
Thank you, Brad.
Hello. Sean Hannity here, guys. Sean Hannity here. Trump has made peace in 7 different conflicts. So you're wrong, good sir. You are wrong. I love that the Democrats are always wrong and crying. It's hilarious. About damn time. Let's see what else we can find. My eyes are a bit glossy. I didn't get too much sleep last night. Should we watch something about the potential New York mayor?
Okay, so President Trump signing an executive order to eliminate cashless bail in D.C. and a separate order threatening to revoke federal funding.
Hit that like and subscribe button. The repo man packing up the Nobel Peace Prize from Obama to Trump. I hope.
City, place, state, and then be criticized by some corrupt or incompetent governor where crime is rampant. I think the Democrats better get smart, and politically I hope they don't, but actually in terms of love for the country I hope they do, because it will be good to work together.
Our next Yes, lost her son, Sergeant Hassan Carrera, in 2018 after he was killed in a brutal stabbing in New York City. Madeline Brame joins me now. Madeline, thanks for getting up to talk about this. This is something that we need to talk about, and we've been speaking about that this morning. You know, to me, it seems like common sense not to have cashless bail, or what they call in New York bail reform. So, and you think there are going to be changes with this?
Absolutely. You know, it's a long, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and good morning, America. Okay, it's a long time coming, all right? The minor tweaks that have been done to bail reform since 2021, 2022 are indicators that they know that it is an imperfect piece of legislation, because they've been tweaking around the edges of it to not really go to the core of what needs to be done, which is to repeal the entire piece of legislation, put it through a shredder, and start over from scratch.
Yeah, start fresh.
Yes. You know, I'm not saying that, reform doesn't need to happen to the criminal justice system. I'm not saying that, there are people who have been incarcerated and a bail has been set and they can't afford their bail.
But this particular instance,
this particular instance.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams, his press secretary, we talked about this as well. She said that Mayor Adams has been clear that a small group of repeat offenders is responsible for a disproportionate share of crime, and current laws keep putting them right back on the streets. At the same time, federal funding has been critical to the Adams administration. You know, and that's what we said. People get real funny when you start talking about money, and he knows that New York City needs that money. So I feel like Trump is just kind of putting New York City, in a tough spot here. They're going to have to choose one or the other.
And, I really am hoping and praying that they choose to do the right thing just because it's the right thing to do. All right. And I'm hoping and praying that they speak to regular people like myself who have been victims, or family members have been victims of this disastrous piece of legislation wherein they let a killer walk free, dismiss murder and gang assault charges person with assault with a shoe, all right, a charge that we never heard of before, and the person walked, all right, after being caught on video participating in the brutal slaughter of another human being, which happened to be my son. Okay, so this policy has created this environment of lawlessness that we see happening in cities like New York and Los Angeles and DC, all right, and Chicago. They call it different things in different states. It's not called cashless bail here, it's called bail reform here. All right, raise the age, less is more, elder parole, all these different pieces of policy that have been put in place, all right, that put the criminal before the actual victim.
Hell
and this is what
no.
we need to do. We need to shift the narrative, shift the focus to the victims of these crimes, all right, and start having some real compassion for the people, the regular people, all right? The people who are opposed to going in and changing this don't live in these communities, all right? And I feel that they don't want to spend the political capital, because it will cost them, they feel, elections. But I feel that if they don't do something to change, all right, this black on black crime situation, all right, that come November, you're going to see a complete shift in the way people are voting.
Yeah.
Right? People are finally going to leave the plantation of the Democratic Party because they're showing that they have no care or concern about the regular people that live in Harlem and Brooklyn and the Bronx, especially the Bronx, is out of control.
The Bronx is very dangerous.
Out of control.
Yeah, it really is. And, it's not right when the paperwork isn't even finished by these police officers and they're already back on the street. It's an ever-revolving door of just crime in the city. Madeline, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
That is nuts. That ain't right. You should not be getting bonded out. Not even bonded out, just getting it out of jail that quickly. That is horrible. That woman is 100%. Does anyone have any video requests? Anything they want to watch? Just let me know. Did she say the plantation of the Democrat Party? She's never seen real work. Yeah, she did say that. But I do agree with her. She's a legal citizen. And I don't think she is Mexican. Oh, I love the haters. If it wasn't possible for the haters, we wouldn't be gaining 5,000 subscribers a month. I really appreciate them. Any other questions, comments, any video requests, anything you guys want to talk about? Drop some super chats if you have any requests, anything you want to talk about. We should deport all illegal immigrants. Oh, you're welcome back with another another account. Appreciate you. Peace out. Oh, I actually timed out the wrong account. Sorry, worst case. The next 12 years will be a no Democrat win. A no Democrat win. I 100% agree. You want to see police chases? I don't know if we can show that or not. A lot of them we can't show. Hit that like and subscribe button. MAGA games today. Am I right, guys? MAGA games? We should play some MAGA video games. Kilmar is getting sent to Uganda. The demise of England. I mean, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, but you gotta drop some super chats. I gotta watch the video after the stream and see which is the best MAGA game. Since you said I can pick one.
It's now 2 months away. Self-described Democrat socialist Zoran Mamdani seeing $1 million.
If you guys have any questions, comments, we gotta deport all these illegals. Drop some super chats if you guys have any requests or comments. Anyway, I'm gonna get back into this video. We can watch another video.
Andrew Cuomo and incumbent Eric Adams in the same time. The latest polls show Mamdani leading the pack, but now New Yorkers seem to be souring on his socialist
They're gonna put Kilmar in prison in Uganda.
Democrat Socialists of America, which first endorsed him to wipe out enforcement of misdemeanors. Join me now, a man who is rising in the polls, New York City Republican mayoral candidate, Curtis Sliwa.
We need Curtis Sliwa.
You raised money, Curtis, from more than 4,000 donors. You quadrupled Mamdani's totals, and most of them are from New Yorkers. Congratulations for that, and welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you, Maria. And they get matched, an 8-to-1 match, because they're New York City donors. First off, I want to check to see on Zoran Mamdani's donors if, in fact, they're bringing in dark money from overseas.
You're wrong. He's going to get deported, and I'm going to laugh at you, Democrats, when Abrego gets deported. Yeah! To Uganda he goes.
Of so many people in New York City, he can't seem to.
I know how to run OBS. I know what I'm doing, brother. I think I know about streaming more than you.
That he would have not only
But cry. You got 1 subscriber. I think I know more than you.
If I am correct or if I am incorrect, but I have a feeling that's what's happening in this election cycle.
Well, this is breaking news. You want an investigation be done about where that money came from.
Correct. I may be wrong. I'd be more than happy to apologize.
Well, it's interesting.
I've already seen Abrego's traffic stop. If you guys want me to play that, please drop a super chat and I would play it. We can all react to it. He's in court right now. He's going on the trial right now, but he's probably going to get deported because once he's found guilty, he's going to be sent to Uganda.
Because somebody on the Cuomo team recently said to me they were shocked that he beat Cuomo in the primary, and they said one of the reasons is they shipped all these people from outside New York to work on the campaign and get them to vote, because there's a law in New York that if you say you lived here for 30 days and you go to vote early, you actually can be counted.
Oh, there's no question. In fact, you could be signed up to vote right on up to the first 10 days of early voting. Those are the rules and regulations. But
So
I
they
think
can just ship outsiders in to vote?
well, yeah, they can temporarily come in and vote. How are you going to prove that, in fact, they're living at that residence? Nobody goes to prove. But I think with Cuomo, he bailed out on that election cycle. He mailed it in from the Hamptons. I'm in the streets every day and in the subways. There's blood flowing up in the Bronx. You're not seeing any of these candidates all weekend long. They were doing silly things, lifting weights, eating potato chips.
Trump 2028, Trump 2032.
I'm dealing with what is becoming the number one issue: crime, public safety, and quality of life. I'm the expert in that field. These other three candidates have failed the public in that regard.
Well, look,
We sleep fantastic at night knowing the Democrats are crying about Trump in their sleep.
You know, the guardian angels, and have seen this city go through different cycles.
We do need someone young for president.
The solution is we got to get back to the basics. We got to let the police officers be police and restore qualified immunity.
Fuck Gavin Newsom.
Qualified immunity. All civil servants are insured, including, as we've seen, Cuomo, who continues to get sued for sexual harassment. We as taxpayers pay those bills. Cops now can be personally sued for anything they do. And we don't have enough cops. We need at least 7,000 more cops. So that's why when all of a sudden Pam Bondi comes to New York City and says to our police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, you know, we can assist you. And Jessica Tisch says, no, it's an anomaly. It's a perception of crime. No. Crime is rising. And the other way you actually address affordability, none of the candidates talk about this. You slash the taxes, the income tax, the corporate tax, the property taxes. You have congestion pricing right here, which is covered in this area where you broadcast from. It is destroying businesses all up and down the corridor. It's another tax, speed cameras, higher sewage rates, water rates, electricity rates.
It's going to be really funny during the midterms when the Democrats lose. They're going to cry a hell of a lot more.
Raven being driven out of New York City. I want people to improve and not move. And there's only one way you're going to get them to stay: if you put money in their pocket so they can actually spend it and fuel the economy here.
So, Curtis, your priorities are ensuring that you get this city back to being safe and cutting taxes. Can you do that, or do you need the governor, Kathy Hochul, to get involved in terms of overseeing a tax cut? Can you do that?
Tariffs were working. They're successful. If you want me to talk about tariffs, drop a super chat. If you want me to talk about deportations, you want me to play a certain video, we can play whatever you guys want.
Democratic stranglehold on the state and the city. That's a 1-2 combination. Remember, you had Rudy followed by Pataki. What did we have? We had order, no chaos, no corruption.
Eric Trump.
1-2 punch. Sliwa, the Republican candidate for mayor, followed by Stefanik, Congresswoman for governor. We'll get this city and state back on track. Slash taxes, provide public safety. That will keep people here instead of fleeing to Florida, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and other parts of the country.
And you think you're going to get an electorate to come out and vote for a Republican in New York?
Well, the other advantage is I have the first ever Protect Animals line. No kill shelters, put animal abusers in jail. That resonates with a lot of women who are the majority of the voters, the majority of the workers, and are the ones.
Hell yeah! Put the animal abusers in jail! No mercy!
City, yes, it will resonate with the voters. I will become the next mayor of the city of New York.
I pray to God, my guy. This is my first time ever seeing this guy on here, honestly, but damn, he seems like a good guy. He wants to put animal abusers in jail, and he wants to lower taxes. Hell yeah, my guy. Hell yeah.
In terms of these no-kill shelters. Look, President Trump has kept out of this race so far, although he has been outwardly opposed to Mamdani and his rise of socialist policies. You've urged the president not to get involved in this race. Why? Because you think it's largely Democrats? Because they're against President Trump? Why not?
It should not be a focus of Zohran Mamdani versus Trump. He wants to run against Trump. He doesn't want to run against Sliwa or Adams or Cuomo on the issues. The other thing, the president president has a full plate. Peace, Ukraine.
Brunel, I would love to play that song, but it's copyrighted. So if anyone wants me to play that song, if they can drop a $20 super chat, because that's literally going to affect my video. I won't be able to put advertisements on it if I play like a copyrighted music song. But I can do this because I'm reviewing it. Like, it's different with music and whatnot. But if you can drop a $20 super chat, we'll play that song for Democrats.
Russia. But the biggest peace he can negotiate, he has the power. Stop the war in Gaza between...
Or hell, $15 super chat. Same thing with Garcia's Garcia's traffic stop. That would like affect the monetization because that is a little bit of a violent thing, quote unquote. So I wouldn't be able to play ads on it. If you guys want me to play any kind of content that affects, my advertising for this video, drop a super chat. Because I can't play traffic stops like that without them saying, oh, this video is not suitable for monetization. Same thing with music. I can't play music without them saying, oh, it's not suitable for monetization.
That's the biggest selling point that Zoran Mandani has amongst millennials and Gen Zers. And I'm going after that vote. I haven't forsaken it like Eric Adams has and Andrew Cuomo.
Well, the president yesterday said, look, if anybody kills somebody in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol, you will face the death penalty. Do you agree?
In a federal city, sure. I think somebody should face the death penalty, but it'll be tied up in courts. I loved what the president did and said that Cuomo no cash bail has to be restricted.
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, because Democrats think they're better than everyone. I try to read the comments that are actually using their brain. If they're just dropping stupid shit, then I would not be reading it. But I do try to read the comments as much as I can. But sometimes I get thousands of comments coming like this, and I can't read them all. Watch a Democrat live streamer. They don't even read the comments unless it's paid. They don't acknowledge what the chat says, saying lies. This guy at least reads them.
Or we will deny federal funding to New York State. Cuomo started it. He doubled down on it. Hochul continues.
No, it's not clickbait. They're sending him to Uganda.
That the president can be very helpful. I thank him for that. We got to get rid of this no cash bail.
Well, the president has been saying this for a long time. I sat down with the president months ago and tried to get his take on this mayoral race, and that is exactly where he went. Here's President Trump with me just a few months ago. Watch this. Who would you be poised to support in New York? I know that you live.
I don't want to say that because, I have a lot of people, a lot of friends, and I have everybody, so I don't want to get into that. I can tell you this, whoever's mayor of New York is going to have to behave themselves, or the federal government is coming down very tough on them financially.
He could hold back federal funding for New York the way he's been looking at all these sanctuary cities.
Well, he already has. If you look in the big, beautiful bill, Medicaid, education, they're going after NYCHA, the federal housing. Now, we need to cut the budgets.
Yeah.
They're way out of whack. But I think that's when you sit down with the president and his cabinet and you say, this is where I agree with you, but this is what is going to hurt the city. We cannot hurt
the Democrats are angry, and I think it's hilarious. You're only angry because Trump is your president, and Republicans are in power, and Democrats are very unpopular right now.
Taxes.
And we're deporting all the illegal immigrants that you want to work on your farms for $4 an hour. Sorry, Democrats.
Hunting Queens. There's viral video showing him failing to bench press 100.
I'm not even rage baiting.
His spotter to help him, Curtis. I mean, it was like now we're getting goofy with the weights. But let me just ask you a serious question here in terms of you, Cuomo, and Adams all being in this race. Somebody's got to.
Trump loves the Constitution. He's not doing anything unconstitutional. And I think it's hilarious that the Democrats are just going to cry for the next 3.5 years. They're not going to do shit.
And then there's Mandami Light.
It doesn't matter if I, show the video or not. Play it without showing the video. You mean the news or the song? Because I can't play the song. It's not the video that's copyrighted. It's the lyrics. It's the song. Every single time I play a video like that, I'm having trouble with the advertising on the video. I tried it before. The day I played 5 songs, I had to sit there and edit every single piece out because, you know.
And Adams, and they agree on most things.
But Brunel, just drop a $10 super chat. I'll play it anyway. I'll deal with no ad money.
Want illegal aliens to vote? I don't. They believe in a sanctuary city? I don't. So why would I remove myself from the race when I'm the only one promoting law and order, patriotism, return to the basic concepts that you and I grew up with in New York City when it was the greatest city in the world? I am the believer in Republican principles. Let the 2 other Democrats, Cuomo and Eric Adams, be on the Titanic and play musical chairs. They can knock each other out. I'm going to become the next mayor. You loved it when Rudy was mayor. You loved it when Bloomberg was mayor. You're going to love it when Sliwa is mayor because we'll have no chaos, no corruption, and we're going to crack down on the crime that is plaguing this city.
Is this a new persona for Curtis Sliwa? No beret, red beret?
Well, Maria, you got to take part of the credit. You suggested you're with all the heavy hitters, and the heavy hitters seem to say, Curtis, when you come into the boardrooms of the corporate Fortune 500 companies based here in New York, you got to get rid of the beret. And as I've said to you, I was born without a beret. I'll die without a beret. There are people out there, obviously, when I'm in the streets and subways, and I'm helping people, the beret stands for Guardian Angels, 6 who were killed in the line of duty, 3 dozen seriously injured. But if you want me to take the beret off, vote for me for mayor. Day one, I'll never wear the red beret again.
Hell yeah. Vote for that guy instead of Mandami. This guy needs more fame. What's this incredible new Trump deal?
Futures this morning, we're expecting a fractionally higher opening from the broader averages, although the S&P and the Nasdaq
Stock market is up. The Democrats are mad.
tonight is Nvidia earnings, and that will likely set the tone for tomorrow. Joining me now to look at the business is the head of wealth at Citi, Andy Sig, with us with insights on markets, policy shifts, and the wealth business coming up. Andy, great to have you.
Great to be here. Thank
Congratulations to you. Well, this is, I think, one of the first times I'm talking with you since you made the move from Bank of America to Citi.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Double tap that screen, guys. Level up the likes.
There are reports out there.
Stock market is way up since the beginning of the year. What are you yapping about? The Democrats don't own any stocks.
A hostile environment that you actually made an executive cry in front of colleagues. Citi has responded to these reports. Bloomberg and the New York Post. Citi writes this: Andy is a seasoned leader with decades of industry
Uganda
experience.
said, yeah, you can send him here, no problem.
Joining in 2023, we remain confident in his leadership and focused on delivering for our clients. But what is your response to these allegations, Andy?
Well, no, thank you, Maria. We've known each other for a long time.
Oh, the Democrats are angry. Boo-hoo! Trump and his supporters are winning, and the Democrats are losing because they refuse to apply themselves to anything. Boo-hoo!
I'm happy to say it's been fantastic to have the company very lined up and responding, as you just read to your audience, and we're on the move. And so this business is, the performance of the business has been transformed. We're going to keep driving that hard. One of the things I'm most proud of, the quality of talent that has risen up inside Citi and joined our part of the business from outside has been phenomenal. So we're moving ahead full speed.
So Viva Vox! That are supporting you is what you're saying.
Oh, across the board. Yeah. And so this is, hey, it's disappointing to see
Spain needs
like
the Vox party, but that's another discussion completely.
Well, I can understand change is hard. You've had to fire a handful of people as well, so that obviously is also difficult. Tell me about the business. What are you seeing in Citi's wealth division right now as we watch markets hit record highs?
Well, this is a wealth business like no other. We're unmatched in terms of how global this business is. And then in a place
he was sent back to El Salvador. He didn't want to stay there. He cried. So now we can send him to Uganda since he wants to come back to our country.
The client franchise, the talent that we have. Our objectives are, very ambitious. We want this to be the #1 wealth business in the world, and we're on path to do that. And right now, we're not the biggest, but we're certainly one of the fastest growing, and you can see that over the last several quarters.
Well, I feel like Morgan Stanley really saw this early on in terms of bulking up its wealth business. What do you need to do to get there in terms of taking it to the next step? Is it scale? Do you need to acquire more assets under management?
Well, I mean, the first thing we needed to do was reorient the strategy. Make make investment advice and providing investment advice central to what we're doing with our clients, get our cost base in line. We've done that. Now we have organic growth happening. There are things about this business that others can't touch. Morgan Stanley's done an amazing job, but their franchise and others nowhere near as global as Citi. I mean, Citi is an American bank, but we have a global network unlike anyone else. And wealth creation is not just happening in the U.S. Markets are spreading around the world. So when we look in Asia, phenomenal wealth creation across Asia. Even in a relatively slow-growing part of the world like Europe, incredible wealth creation. And among ultra-high net worth clients, globally investing, being globally minded, that plays to Citi's strengths.
President Trump has been able to lure big money investors and countries.
Guys, this is the last video I'm going to play. If you guys have any comments, questions, or if you want me to play another video or talk about anything else on the stream, just drop a super chat. If not, we're going to be back later with, many more guests. I think we have at least 3 guests for today. Let's continue.
To invest in America, whether it's corporate America or, the Saudis and individuals from...
Oh, by the way, if you want to be a guest on the stream, you want to debate Trump's policies, or you want to talk about anything political-wise, you can join my Discord. It's bipartisan. We got all kinds of different people in there. But yeah, if you want to debate about Trump, you can join my Discord. We can debate about anything, really. It doesn't just have to be Trump.
UAE, what are you seeing in terms of the investor today who wants to move money around? How attractive is the United States to them right now?
Well, the U.S. is incredibly attractive. When you think about the president's policies, the president's policies are now coming together in a way that investors around the world are recognizing. You've got, the tariff regime in place alongside deregulation, alongside stimulus. You can see the market reaction to that. It has defied the skeptics in terms of what's happening in the market. And so investors see that. And when they think about a financial institution, they love the idea of an American bank with the dynamism, the entrepreneurial strength of an American bank, but with global DNA, which makes it very easy for investors around the world to connect with us.
Well, I think that's a great way to say it. With DNA of investing across the world, where would you recommend your big clients to allocating capital today when you look across the world?
Well, there's no market in the world like the U.S. The U.S.
Double tap that screen.
People forget. We talk about the scale of the U.S., but the U.S. economy is larger than the combined next 4 economies in the world. If you put China, Germany, India, Japan together, it just barely matches the U.S. economy. So this dynamism, this level of innovation, the fact the U.S. is out in front on topics like AI, brings capital in. Now, Europe has been ignored for years by investors, and so there's some opportunities to take advantage of that valuation differential in Europe right now. So we do see some portfolios increasing European exposure. And again, many of our clients, our typical client is very globally minded, so they tend to have a fairly balanced global portfolio.
Yeah, when we were talking with Christine Lagarde last week, the president of the ECB, she was telling me how she's trying to lure investors to go invest in Europe. But I wasn't sure the backdrop was actually, strong enough. She's had to cut rates 200 basis points, 8 or 9 times in just 16 months.
Growth has been a challenge. Level of dynamism in the European economy is nowhere near what the U.S. economy or other economies around the world are showing. However, as I said, many of those equities have been under pressure for many years. There's some standout companies in Europe. So, an investor who understands these markets can pick up opportunities in Europe. But again, on a macro basis, all eyes are on the U.S.
Tell me your take on privates right now. A lot of investors want to get their hands on private companies, thinking that that's really the growth story of tomorrow. We just spoke with the commissioner from the Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as Secretary Scott Bessent, who is trying to open up the opportunities for individuals to invest in privates. What are you doing at Citi regarding that, and how do you see that?
Well, we see great interest in privates.
You do.
Of course, we want private companies as well as public companies to be able to finance themselves in the U.S. markets. That happens today. That's, again, a great strength of the U.S. We commend what the administration's doing with regard to private companies. Our investors, they want to have more access to direct private investments. They also want to see the secondary market.
And that's that, guys. We're done for, the stream. We'll be back We'll be back in a couple hours here. If you guys want to, you know, turn the notification bell on, we're going to have some live debates. We're going to have some live discussions. If you guys want to talk about anything particularly, before I end this, I'll give you guys, you know, 60 seconds to drop a super chat if there's anything you want to talk about. But yeah, I don't know what that means, J Money. Later, guys. Appreciate you, Ryan. I'll see you, you know. We can debate, Norway, or whoever wants to debate. Join my Discord. Link in the bio. We will be back. We will be back, guys. We will be back in a couple hours here. What time is it now? Maybe in, you know, 3 or 4 hours we'll be back. I will, Libby. Thank you. Much appreciated. All right, guys. Peace out. Peace out, guys. Talk later. Love you all. Join the Discord. Hit that like and subscribe button.